Live, everybody. It's the weekly review, all right? Becoming our favorite show that we do around here, everyone. We get a chance to actually talk about everything that's going on from the week. We actually just come up with some more fun, random stories and continue on the stuff that we've talked about all week long. Welcome, everyone, to the Patrick Carr Show. A lot of great stuff to talk about. If you saw the title, we got the Masters continuing, Patriots controversy, Buc-ee's. Everyone loves Buc-ee's, the gas station. We're going to talk about a scandal that's brewing in Orlando with Ford's Garage paying people 1 cent. 1 cent an hour, everybody, Anthony. Melania Trump is telling people about what she thinks about the Epstein files, and we'll dive into that all in all. But first, we're going to start with the Masters. Can you give me a Masters update? What do we got going on right now?
Let's pull it up.
Last time we looked, we had Roy and Sam Burns were tied for the lead. That was about 2.5 hours ago.
Ooh, Roy's in first.
Okay.
Right now, he's -8, and then
Look at Roy coming big.
Sam Burns is -5, so Roy's up.
Roy's up 3 right now.
Yeah.
Now, most importantly, we got to know, what is Gary Woodland doing, who we all know. The guy is worried about being killed out there. If he is playing any kind of golf that's good, it's amazing. No? You're still scrolling.
Where is he?
Oh, no. Folks, if you didn't get the chance to see the show yesterday, Gary Woodland, he won a few weeks ago to get into the Masters. This guy had a benign lesion that was removed from his brain. That lesion was pressing against a part of the brain that controls anxiety and fear. And upon having that removed, they weren't able to get it all. And so this guy deals with extreme PTSD everywhere he goes his entire life, believing, in fact, that people are going to, in fact, kill him wherever he goes. This guy is playing golf knowing that. Think about, I've said it yesterday, the one place you don't want to be playing is, if you have anxiety, the middle of, teeing off at Augusta with thousands of people around you. This guy leaves his home feeling that. I love the story of Gary Woodland. Maybe he makes a comeback. I'd love to just see him on Sunday playing a round of golf. If he can make it through the weekend, that'd still be a story.
Yeah, he's in 37.
Okay. All right. Well, it was a good story while it lasted.
Yeah.
All right, Gary, I just think, what about Scotty? How's he doing right now?
Let's see.
Scotty Scheffler, everybody. I think that he's going for his 3rd green jacket. If I was putting money, it was going to be on Scotty. Give me 1 second here. We got a phone call here for work. Just give me a minute here. Hello, this is Patrick. Hey, no problem. I believe that we were just trying to set something up for maybe in about 25 minutes or so, and we were going to get on to just kind of go through the credit card, do everything we got to do. Oh, you're on with Russell now. Okay. So Russell should have everything handled then for you on that end. Do you need me to jump? He's in there with the team right now, so he can get that all set up on his end, and then we can launch. From what I understand, we're only doing 4 brands. Is that right?
Yes. One of the things I did want to follow up with you on, I noticed that some of the stuff that we approved, whatever, like only certain brands will be posted. So I think Stephanie's posted to Frank's like twice.
Yeah.
And Baseline twice, but like Four Seasons hasn't had any. Canada One hasn't had any.
Yeah.
I didn't know because I thought they all kind of got posted at the same time.
They completely do. What happened is that in the course of her hearing about us not having the card on file, she paused the stuff, thinking that it was like everything was paused. It was just a poor communication on our end. I just told her to make it active again, so that'll start immediately 10 minutes ago. So she was just confused because we weren't running the ads, and so we weren't sure about the actual organic content. She had just made an assumption that was the wrong assumption to make. But it's back on. Yeah, everything's back on. We're all good to go. You're very welcome. All right, bye. Well, we do this thing live, so there we go. Work does not stop for there. Right there.
Always working.
Always working. How's Scotty doing?
20, 21.
All right, so Scotty's back, but we're early here we're only, as we film this, it's 3 o'clock on Friday. Not okay. We're getting through the second half of the day right here.
Yeah.
All right, so the Masters, everybody, one of the greatest traditions that there is in sports, an absolutely amazing thing, and absolutely looking forward to the weekend. I know a lot of people are to be able to enjoy the Masters watch it, have a cigar, have a drink. It's a great weekend for that. And I consider this to kick off the spring. Some people consider it to be Easter. I've always thought the Masters with the azaleas, the beautiful coverage that they get. For people who are not aware, before they were streaming, the Masters is really the closest thing there was to it.
Yeah.
Very limited commercial breaks. Now you can get it, of course, on your phone. You can set it up right here and you can get it 24/7. But the Masters is absolutely amazing. And a great start to the weekend right here. A lot of great stories. I want to dive into our story that we want to keep with the sports theme. Patriots fans, this one is for you. Your head coach is in a little bit of a scandal. Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini are in a little bit of a love triangle right now, if you want to call it that. For those of you who have not heard the story, a scandal has broke as the Patriots coach has been caught not with his pants down, but it does not look good when he is, closing up really close to Diana Rossini. She's a sports reporter. And so in the course of doing this, these two are in a little bit of a love triangle because they both are married. And people are talking a little bit about the pictures that are shown, and it looks like they were taken with a telephoto lens from a good ways away. And it looks like they were on a retreat, some kind of resort. They're in a pool somewhere. I can't make any inferences other than that. What I can say is that they both don't look like they are in a professional relationship. And, when I hear about this, there's a lot of different reactions. Some people are saying, so what? All right, who cares? Ethics, whatever. He's a head coach. She covers football for ESPN. Okay, something was bound to happen. I don't think that's really where people are upset. I think it's the whole thing that they're married, and then they're wondering if she is then going to be biased to the Patriots if she's the one who's supposed to break news about the NFL. So you either fall in one of two camps. You're like, hey, listen, who cares? Or maybe you're upset because the two people are married and you think the photos look a little risque. Or maybe there's a third camp where you don't like it professionally because you think that the story breaks, the Patriots are going to get the better end of the deal. For me, I look at this and I think to myself, all right. I mean, I get why people are kind of getting up in arms. And it is going back to what I've said before, that this is the worst 3 weeks in sports after the Masters, and people need something that they're going to tag and, catch on to, because there is no football. So this is what we're talking about right now. And there is no, there's no other sports that really matter right now. Don't talk to me about baseball. There's 500 games left. Okay. Everybody's fine. NHL, give me a break. All right. But I don't know. This story right here, we saw that it's been trending. I think that it's kind of a nothing burger to me right now. I don't think it affects his job either. I mean, who's his owner? Who's the owner of the Patriots?
I don't even know, actually.
Take a look. And then let's look at this guy's scandals. Come on. Who is it? Robert Kraft. There we go. All right. So Robert Kraft, who we all know was going to some massage parlors, everybody. I don't think Robert Kraft has a real problem with the guy getting, a massage at the pool, when a couple of years ago, he was the one getting in trouble for a couple massage parlors himself, which I think was a little more scandalous than this. I don't think that, Mike Vrabel is going to have a problem walking in with his head held high into Robert Kraft's office to try to explain himself in these pictures. Robert Kraft is going to go, I get it, buddy. I think we're going to be just fine. All right.
He's probably just happy that it's not him.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, oh, man, this is nothing. I mean, come on. I mean, the scandals the Patriots have had, especially Robert Kraft personally, I think they're going to be just fine on this one right here. This next story is about the beloved gas station chain, Buc-ee's. And it looks like they're in the headlines for some of the wrong reasons. And I want to dive into this because there's one thing I understand. It's actually gas stations, everybody. For those of you who are not aware, my father owned a chain of gas stations in Missouri called T-Rex Gasoline. And it was also, I think, Cheap Smokes Tobacco and Liquor and tobacco stores too. Some of my best days were in the summer times in high school and a couple summers in early college. I would go up there and I'd work in the convenience stores, gas stations, clean pumps, things like that. So I understand this business very well. And what Buc-ee's is doing is causing some controversy, but I want people to understand that they're doing it for the right reasons. And if we can understand why, I think that people will fall in line and understand that the chain has their best interest at heart as fans and as people that frequent the store. The closest one I believe we still have in Florida is the one over on the East Coast in the Daytona area.
Yeah.
I believe that's the one. But if you've never been to a Buc-ee's, they're an experience, everyone. And so you have to understand that to understand the story. You don't walk into a Buc-ee's like you do a gas station, like you do like a 7-Eleven. It is an experience, and it has a trend. It has a following. It has fans. People love it. It's got its own feel to it. It's very difficult to describe, but people love the place. And when you drive up to one, it's like a Walmart with a shit of gas stations in front, or pumps in front of it. I mean, it is a lot happening, right? But at its core, Buc-ee's is still a gas station, right? It is still a place that somebody can fill up their car, and they need to be able to do that. So Buc-ee's new policy now states that you cannot pay inside for your gas with a credit card. You must pay at the pump if you want gas with a credit card. So this is a little bit backwards from how gas stations normally work. Excuse me. This is a little bit backwards from how gas stations normally work. People, if you've ever drove up to a gas station, you know that when you drive up, it's frustrating because they go pay inside. They normally want you to come inside to make a purchase because that's where they make their money. Most gas stations make 1 cent to 2 cents, maybe, on each gallon of gasoline that they sell you. There's such a competitive market for it. Nobody is sitting there making $1.50 on each gallon of gas. It's a very small margin that you have on the gas. Your money is made by people going in there and buying a product, buying a Snickers bar, buying a slushie, all that stuff that people want to buy. So they normally want to get you in the store. Buc-ee's has flipped that on its head because what's happening is that people are pulling up to the pump. They're walking inside and they're going through the Buc-ee's experience, walking down the aisles. They're buying certain things, buying little gifts and stuff and souvenirs. And in the course of doing that, what's happening is that sitting there at the pump is that car, that truck, and that pump is not able to be used by somebody else. And you have people that are sitting there, and now you have a gas station with a problem. Because as appealing as it is to go to Buc-ee's when you're getting gas, if you can't get gas there, then you're not coming back to that store. And they recognize that. And yes, you do get traffic from people that are passing by once a time, they want to stop in. But you also have to understand you have people in that area that want to be able to come there on their way to work and know that they're going to be able to fill up their tank quickly and get out of there. You've got to make sure that you're appealing to both audiences. And Buc-ee's understands now that people are spending too much time inside and they need to stop them from coming up and going, okay, I want all of this stuff and I want $50 right here in gas. You can't do that anymore at a Buc-ee's. You got to pay at the pump, put the gas in your car, drive and park your car, get your family out, whatever, go inside and have your experience. I know that people are up in arms about this because they feel like, hey, you know what? I just want to be able to walk inside, buy a few things at the Buc-ee's and put the $50 on my card and I'm good. But you have to understand from a business perspective that they are looking at this as I need to make sure that my store remains open and that people who come here know they can get gas, get in and get out if that's what they want. You've got to have it for both types of clientele, not just one. The second part of the story is I also understand there are people that are upset because when you do pay at the pump, you get a hold on your card. And I think this might be the bigger part that people don't like is that when you pay inside, you can say, I want $50 on this, and you give you $50 and there's no hold on the card. But when you go to the pump and you do that, when you slide your card into the pump, it has no idea how much gas you're about to put in. So to protect themselves, the gas stations will normally put a number like $200 to $300 just to make sure you don't have $3 on a credit card. You come up there, pump $300 worth of gas, and they're on the hook for $297. So these holds get put on and then they get removed 36 to 72 hours later. Okay, fair enough. I can understand why somebody who may be living paycheck to paycheck doesn't like this option, especially if they do like to frequent a Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is looking out for themselves and their long-term success as a business by doing this. It has nothing to do with trying to screw customers over or say that, they're trying to make money off of, I'm not really sure. This is nothing for them to make money off of. But as a customer, if you're a fan of Buc-ee's, you have to understand that it's not just fans who go there. All right. It's not just you. It's people that are just everyday people trying to get gas and they want to get in and out. And they have to appeal to both types of customers. That's it.
Yeah, I go to Buc-ee's a lot and sometimes I don't even get gas. I just want to go in, just get a sandwich, just walk around, look at stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And so, think about it. I've fallen victim to this. I've been to a Buc-ee's. You walk in, you forget your car's out there. And honestly, do you really care? Because there's 100 pumps. You're thinking, oh, I'm just one pump. But if you and 30 other people are doing that exact same thing, what begins to happen is that there's no movement. And now they're not filtering people through the store at such a rate. And I have to imagine that what Buc-ee's realized is that, hold up, they probably put some AI to this thing, and they realized, man, the average time at our pump is something like, I don't know, 8 minutes. Well, the average time at a 7-Eleven is 3 minutes. Okay, so we're not filtering people through this store as quickly as what we can. We've got backup. People are leaving. People are getting frustrated. They're not coming back. And they made a business decision to do things the right way. I believe this is a long-term decision for them, and one they had to make. The store has just become too popular, too many people rolling through the store to continue to do things like this. I remember, I'll tell you the story. My father came up with this idea, and I still believe it's still a great idea, to get people to come into the store. We had like 11 stores at the time in Missouri, and it was called penny an ounce. So what you could do is you could come into the store with you could buy a 64-ounce cola for 64 cents. And that's what made it special, right? And I still think it's a great deal. So we used to do this time of the year, limited time in the summertime, where you do penny an ounce at T-Rex Gasoline. And it was a great program to get people to come inside and to buy things, because they would come in, everyone would get 3 sodas. They'd pay $1.85 or whatever it was in tax and stuff. And then that was it. But you know what they would buy? Pack of Big Red, Snickers, some, sour gummy worms, a pack of Marlboro Lights, things like that had high margins to get them in the store besides that ounce drink. And people, you've got to understand, the biggest margins in convenience stores are in those bags. And the bags, the soda goes into the thing as a bag. It's, soda in a bag type thing. Huge margins there, because those bags will last forever, and all you've got is carbonated water is it. So big margins when it comes to soda. And so you can afford to lose a little bit or break even on that if you're making margins other places. So gas stations are constantly in this. Buc-ee's, I think they're making the right move. Good for them. All right. Next story is right here in Orlando, making national news. All right, Anthony, it's Ford's Garage. And Ford's Garage is a restaurant. It's part of a chain of restaurants here in Orlando, and they're making news. Well, I think the article said it was for the wrong reasons, but I'm going to defend it a little bit. I'm going to see both sides. In Orlando, I want to read this to you all. According to Orlando Weekly, the summary of this is pretty simple. The chain called Ford's Garage is paying their servers a little bit more than 1 cent an hour, everyone. No, that's not a typo. Instead of a normal hourly wage, these servers earn a tiny base pay plus commission, meaning they get a percentage of what food and drinks they sell during their shift. On top of that, the restaurants like Ford Garage automatically add a 20% service charge to every customer's bill. Here's a twist, though, everyone. That money doesn't go to the server at all. It goes to other staff like food runners and table cleaners. Now, if anyone tips over that 20% additional that they put onto there, anything above that, that goes directly to the server. All right. So we have a normal model here in Florida. Let's get back up. Here in Florida, by the end of, I think, this year, everybody has to be making $15 an hour as our state minimum wage. And servers have to be making the minimum wage, and that's based on the tips in which they receive, plus their hourly pay that they get. What this restaurant is banking on is that you're going to get more than your $15 an hour, and you're going to make more money and be happy by making a commission rather than making a couple of dollars an hour plus normal way that we do tips above and beyond the principal that you have to pay to the restaurant. I think this is a very unique way of looking at things. So I'll give you an example of how it would normally work versus how it works with the way that Ford's Garage is doing it. I want to take a $100 bill. Normally, $100 bill comes, you put $20 onto that bill, it makes it $120, and that $20 goes to the server. And that's how it works. What they are doing now is they're coming back to you, and she's handing you a $100 bill with a 20% surcharge. So now it's a $120 bill. If you tip $10 on top of that, that $10 goes all to your server. That 20% surcharge that they added, none of it goes to her. And she makes a percentage of whatever the revenue was of that $100, whatever she brought in. This gives an incentive for servers to do upselling. And if you've ever been in a restaurant, everyone, You know what they want you to do is upsell. Do you want dessert? Do you want an appetizer? Do you want this on the side? How would you like this? Can I offer you this? Do you want another drink? The things that are going to push the bill up. What they're saying here at Ford's Garage is that we're going to reward you for a higher bill. So a higher I know it's higher ticket per capita. That's fine. But however you put it within a restaurant, the higher the bill is, you're going to make more money. So they're giving incentive for their servers to become salespeople and to push that bill up and give a great experience. And in that way, not only are you getting more money on the total bill, but if they have a great experience and they're willing to tip you beyond that 20%, you're taking 100% of what that comes in right there. And they're trying to say that with a great experience, the above and beyond over here, plus the percentage that you make on the revenue you bring in, is more than going to make up for the fact that the couple dollars that they're not paying you in the regular way that you normally do tips. That's their theory.
Honestly, I think it'll work because I don't know if it'll work for every restaurant, but probably Ford Garage because I don't know. To me, as an Orlando local, I feel like Ford Garage is kind of like just one of those not souvenir, but just experiences where it's like someone from California is going to Disney World, Ford Garage, you got to go there.
I get it. Yeah, I agree with you.
And so I feel like they're going to spend more money on those tourist people coming in, and so they'll probably get a lot more money from that. So,
yeah, I mean, the only thing I can see is that an average patron not understanding the system, right? So if I come in there and I'm an average I never tip 20%. I always want to tip more than that. I think that servers are vastly undervalued for what they do. They take way too much shit from people. Listen, more power to servers, okay? Especially those who work in nightlife who have to deal with people that are drunk and idiots all the time. Yeah. God, just the patient level that people like that have, okay? Now, what I was going to say, though, is if I come in there and I'm $50 and you've all of a sudden tack on a $10 charge onto that, and I look at that like, really? Like, this is what y'all do? I'm going to assume an average person would assume that $10 is going to the server, not to the restaurant. Yeah. So what do you do as a server? Do you explain it to them? Do you say, hey, there's a surcharge of 20% above and beyond. I don't get any of it. I only get what you put above that. And I get a percentage of the revenue that I'm a revenue share here. Good luck as a server trying to explain that to somebody who's just sitting down for some beer and wants to have a good time. And if you don't explain it, then they're going to get a bill and they're not going to understand what's happening. And if they believe that it's just for you, then they're going to think, oh, look, it's already been added and I'm good to go. And I'm sure that Ford's Garage has a policy that doesn't allow their servers to talk about how they're paid. They just probably have to leave it alone and say, well, yeah, it's already been added. That's our policy. And then see if the person adds another tip onto it. The big question in this thing with Ford's Garage, in this controversy, is what percentage of revenue do the servers get? Yeah. This question has not been answered, Anthony. We looked for it. And that's where we find out if this is a good deal or not. So I'll give you an example. On that $100 bill, if we know that it's less than 20% that they receive, if not, they'd have no reason to do it, and the garage wouldn't make any more money. Because think about it, they're adding 20%. If they took away 20%, there'd be nothing in it for the garage. So the corporate would never do something like this. So we know it's less than 20% that the server is going to receive. Let's say it's 10% to make it a round number. Now that means that server is making $10 on that $100 bill. That's not as much as they would have made on a $100 bill. But you look at that and I go, now they get some money above and beyond over here. Is that going to make up for it on a $100 bill? I don't think so. I don't think on average somebody is going to go above and beyond very much. If you've already put 20% on top of their bill already, they're going to believe that that's going to the server. Now, if we start creeping up to like 15 to 18% of the bill that server is getting, okay, now it starts to make a little bit more sense, because with great service and pushing your bill higher, you might be able to make more money. But how much of a percent is Ford's Garage giving to their servers? That's the number I want to know, because that makes all the difference in the world to whether this is a fair deal or not. I have no doubt that they're making more than $15 an hour with a rev share deal like they're doing right here. Cool. That's a given. I got it. No one's saying that you're not paying people the minimum wage. What I'm saying is that, are you taking away their ability to make money by being a greedy corporate organization, or are you trying to give incentive to people who are servers to upsell, to have a higher ticket, and you're trying to reward them for that with great service and a pay structure that actually works? Which one is it? It can't be both.
Yeah.
I need to see more about this story. I know they interviewed, who is it, Matt Morgan, one of the Morgan brothers, about this one. And, he was out. It's legal to do. As long as somebody is making over the state minimum wage, they're going to be fine. But when I look at this and I think to myself, I'm like, we need to know that percentage.
Oh, yeah.
Once we know the percentage, we can look at the numbers and figure out if this is something that's worth it or not.
Mhm.
And then I'll tell you, if they were smart, they'd put different percentages on different items. That's how you do it. See, what I would do if I was Ford's Garage is I would bring all my servers together and I'd go, okay, on your normal items, let's just say a burger, all right? Here's what you're going to make. This is your percentage on a burger. Let's say it's 10%. Hey, but I'll tell you what, you upsell a dessert, 25%. Your appetizers, 25%. Beers, premium beers, 25%. Premium drinks. Start your upselling with the items that normally are not sold often. So I would give incentive to servers to try to upsell items that normally they would not. Now, I'm not saying 25% is reasonable, but I would give more money to them to get items that they normally are lazy about. Because if you're having an off day, you're going to a table and you're like, hey, how can I help y'all? What can I get you? You're not making suggestions. But if I know I'm making 25% on a premium beer that day, when I go to that table and I'm, whatever, I'm going to, hey guys, listen, I got a great deal. I got a great special here for you. We got a PBR going right now all day. Got a great special on that. I love it. We got ice cold back there. What do y'all say to some PBRs? And they're going to go, oh, sure, man. What's PBR? Sure. Yeah. Right? Because then you're giving incentive to somebody to have that upsell as a server. If they're just doing a straight revenue share across the board, they're missing an opportunity at Ford's Garage. Make the percentage dependent upon the item on the menu, and then make that a rotating thing. If you want more of one item sold over here, just make the percentage greater for the server for that item. That would make sense to me. But we got to know this percentage before we can know if this is anything that's any good. I can see why there's controversy. I want to see how it plays out. What do you think, Anthony?
100% agree. I hoping they're doing the right thing for the servers, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. When corporate people start getting involved and giving corporate speak, I start like, oh, we're doing this for all the right reasons. You just don't understand. You don't get it.
I don't know if they're changing it. I feel like it's only for them, not for the server.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, right. I know. Like, I would love to think that we're really wrong, but unfortunately, a lot of times we're not when it comes to this case right here. Let me get into this story. The next story here, okay, everybody. Melania Trump is in the news, and she wants to have public hearings for the victims underneath for Jeffrey Epstein. So basically what happened here is Melania Trump came out and said that she welcomes the victims of Jeffrey Epstein to go before Congress and testify under oath. And she is trying to clear her husband's name as any kind of involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to tell you, we have talked about this now this is their third time. Melania Trump is wrong about this. The public does not want the victims of Jeffrey Epstein to be paraded in front of Congress and spoken to under oath. Nobody needs to see that. Those people need to speak privately to the FBI, and charges need to be filed where they need to be filed against the creepers and the awful people that assisted Jeffrey Epstein in doing what he did. That's it. These people do not need to tell their story in front of a bunch of cameras, and probably some of the people that need to be indicted in this situation, all right? That's crazy to ask them to do that. What the public does want is what we were denied this week, which is Pam Bondi, who was subpoenaed to be in front of Congress and to answer questions, and the DOJ getting involved and saying, you know what? She was just fired from her position for how she handled the Epstein files. So because she's no longer the Attorney General, we don't want her to actually, in fact, that subpoena is not even valid. She won't even go before Congress to actually answer any questions about the exact reason that she was fired. So Melania Trump, why I think she's trying to clear her husband's name, like, hey, victims can get out there and talk about whatever they want. That is not what the public wants. The public wants answers from Pam Bondi. We want to know, what did this woman know? Why did we get 5 different stories, 3 different ways? Why were there files and there won't, and then we got a redacted version? Why will not somebody come forward and say, Pam Bondi screwed up and we want to know what happened? This is insane. Everyone keeps talking about everyone else when the person to talk to was the person that 2 weeks ago was the Attorney General of the United States who was in charge of this and has been in charge of it for the last 18 months. Get Pam Bondi on record. Get her under subpoena. Get her to testify under oath. It's a joke. No one else in America would have been subpoenaed by Congress and then been able to say, you know what? I know you guys wanted to talk to me about what I was doing at my job last week, but I've been fired. So I can't actually testify about what I was doing last week because I no longer hold that position. What stops you from talking about what you were doing last week? Nothing. Oh, well, that's just the DOJ's that's going to come in and say, no, she doesn't have to. You know what? Department of Justice, let her go on her way. I just, for me, this story does not get enough attention because there's people at the very top who don't want it to get attention. And I'm sorry, but right now, the DOJ needs to step out of the way, get Pam Bondi in front of some people like Josh Hawley over there from Missouri, who I love watching him drill people. Get in front of some people that actually can ask some real questions and hopefully we can get some answers. What is the problem with parading as many people as possible in front of Congress who are not the victims? I don't need victims to tell their story. We know the sickos that are involved. So what I want to know is get those people into the FBI. Let's make some charges. Let's put some people in prison or worse. That's what needs to happen here. Who are these sickos? Let's get them identified. While I understand that we have names of victims that need to be redacted, why are we redacting, or what are we doing with the people that did the perpetrating? If there's an accusation against these people, let's get them in front of somebody, a judge, a jury, Congress, testify, subpoenas, under oath. I don't care, but they need to be held accountable. And I can't believe that we're talking about parading victims in front of Congress instead of the Attorney General from 10 days ago. Yeah. This one, we've been talking about this one for 2 weeks. It's insane. We said it was going to happen last week too. Yeah. We were like, this is not right. Pam Bondi being fired the day before she was going to go to Congress. Now they're not even saying the subpoena is valid. Yeah, nothing to see here. Everybody just look away, okay? That's why no one trusts the government, all right? Do we miss anything? I think we got everything today. We got the Masters update in. We got the Patriots football story, Bucky's. We got Ford's Garage with the 1 cent they're paying people. And Melania Trump with the Epstein files. And, well, Pam Bondi not doing anything again. She must be on a beach drinking Mai Tais or something right now. And no one ever knows where Pam Bondi is, but she sure as heck is not testifying like she should be. What else we got going on?
What? Did you hear about the Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather. What happened? What's the headline on that one?
So apparently he owes $7.3 million in taxes again. Yeah.
Well, when I hear that the $7.3 million in taxes, Floyd Mayweather under investigation again for tax fraud. When I hear that, all I can think about is here comes the next stunt. Who's he going to fight next? Who's going to be the star that he picks out that he can do a pay-per-view with, that he can get in the Netflix show with? Because one thing Floyd Mayweather knows how to do is put on a show. And he has been in tax issues. Let's say this man has had tax issues for his entire career. But one thing you got to give him is he's always been able to win the next fight. And the number of times that you've heard Floyd Mayweather's in trouble, and then Floyd Mayweather goes and he has a huge fight, wins $100 million purse, pays off his taxes, and gets in trouble again. But then he finds a way, Money Mayweather, to get out there, promote himself again, and make a big win for himself. That's been his game for forever. And the question is, when does the luck run out? When do you not have the stardom to be able to pay that bill, win that fight, draw the crowd, put on the show like you have before Money Mayweather? Is there too many other distractions? Have the Paul brothers gotten too involved in it now? And is that where the attention is? He's been out of the spotlight as a champion boxer for a while now. His stuff has been stunt related. Okay. And the McGregor thing that he did was maybe one of the biggest, geniuses of marketing I've ever seen. It was beautifully done. It was perfect. But right now he's been out of the limelight for a long time, and he's going to need another big fight. He's going to need to put on a show. if he wants to win big and make sure that he doesn't, I don't know, get indicted for some tax fraud here or whatever else he's been doing, maybe he wants to sell 1 or 2 or 3 of those Bugattis that he's got right now, because when you live that lifestyle, you got to be ready to take all the heat that comes with it. No one's going to feel bad for Money Mayweather if he has to go to prison or have to pay fines or loses a house or 2, or he loses anything that he has flaunted for a long time. You make the bed that you lie in, or you lie in the bed that you make, whatever the saying might be. But he has surely not been shy about his money, about his winnings, and now he's going to have to make sure that he puts on another show in order to keep them. I think that a lot of people who are influencers run into this sometimes. You start making a little bit of money and then you start flaunting it. It's very easy online to do that. Be very careful, because there will come a time where you are going to come to things will not be as good for you. I'm trying to think of the saying right now, Anthony, but I was listening to this pastor last night on my way home, and he said there's 2 places that you are. You're in a time of blessings, or basically you're in a time of scarcity. You're in a time of pain, scarcity, and both of them are temporary. So if you're in a tough time right now in your life, a time of scarcity, a time of pain, look forward. You're going to have a time of blessing around the corner. And if you're in a time of blessings right now, be careful. It's not going to last forever. There is going to be times of scarcity, and there's going to be times of pain in the future. So I think what he was trying to say is enjoy the moments that you're in right now. And then if you're in a tough moment right now in your life, know that there are better moments in front of you. There are blessings that are going to be in front of you. And I think that's a good note to end on. We got a great weekend coming up here. I know that I'll be here working this weekend. I got a lot of work to do this weekend, but I think it's going to be, I'll set up my phone, watch a little bit of the Masters, work here at the desk, and enjoy myself. What do you got going on?
Nothing much. Just gonna relax, just watch some TV, watch the Masters, just hang out. One thing that I saw this morning too, the Artemis 2 is coming back.
The rocket?
Yeah, it's coming
already.
Back. Yeah, it's coming down. It's coming down. It's 8 p.m. today. It's gonna splash down, and they're gonna come back. It's crazy.
I almost feel like that entire story would have been better with some kind of problem.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
there's nothing.
There have no problems with this thing.
That's crazy.
I mean, America, we talked about, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago, but America has just been winning lately. And what a cool weekend to start with a shuttle coming back down from the furthest we've ever been away from Earth, going around the moon, giving us pictures like none of us have ever seen before of the moon, which has been beautiful. I mean, everyone's seen photos from NASA in 1970, whatever. But now we're getting these high-res images and videos of the moon like we've never seen before. And then you go into the Masters, one of the greatest events that there is in sports. And maybe you can make an argument, the greatest sporting event that you couldn't make that argument. That's a story. That's a story maybe for Monday. All right, we'll see about that. But it's a great sporting event. All right, it is. Everybody loves watching it. And what a good weekend. It's a good way to start it. I agree. Hell yeah, America type thing. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, have a great weekend. This is the Patrick Carr Show. Talk about some great topics today. And listen, anyways, we get a lot of comments on these. So if anyone ever checks them out on Facebook or the lives on Instagram or wherever we're at, send us a message. If you want us to cover a story that is going on, me and Anthony sit here, we come up with some great ideas. We try to cover some stuff that is maybe less covered by the news, but a lot more fun to talk about than just a normal BS when you open up your phone and you see the top stories in there. The same thing it feels like on repeat. Have a great weekend. Have a couple drinks. Enjoy the Masters. See y'all on Monday.